Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The Q5 is an excellent all-rounder. Leaving the leisure cars aside, it's probably all the car that you'll ever need. It's got an eager drivetrain, it's spacious, it's kitted out quite well, and in a sea of cars that have started looking overtly aggressive or sporty, it has and has had quite a pleasant vibe to it. In fact, the first generation of the Q5 was a massive success. It went from strength to strength for over 9 years. And the new one, it's an instant hit too. In fact, Audi India tells us that they received 500 orders for these in the first month of its launch itself. If you too have been eyeing for one, but the only thing that's holding you back is your wish to have better refinement, a punchier petrol performance, and of course cleaner emissions, then rejoice. It's time for you to schedule that test drive because the Q5 petrol is finally here. The hard-to-understand Audi nomenclature classifies this as the Q5 45 TFSI, which points towards the 1984cc turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine. It is the same engine that also does duty in the Q7 and is the only petrol engine option that the Q5 currently ships with anywhere in the world. The marketing lingo terms this car as the most powerful and the fastest Q5 in production. That claim comes courtesy of the power output, which at 252 PS is identical to that of the Q7 petrol. Now this car is also lighter, which means that it gets better power to weight ratio. That also explains why the Q5 gets a 45 TFSI moniker compared to the 40 TFSI that you get on the Q7 petrol. That better power to weight ratio also means that this car has quicker acceleration. Audi claims a 6.3-second sprint from standstill to 100 km an hour, which is half a second quicker than the Q7 petrol. In our test, we managed the sprint in 6.8 seconds, which is about a second quicker than what we managed with the Q5 diesel. The engine is superbly refined throughout the rev range and a pleasant reminder of why we love petrol motors. It has a healthy torque output of 370 Nm, and thanks to turbocharging, all of it is delivered from as low as 1600 RPM, which is comparable to the torque output of the 2-litre diesel counterpart. That said, the Q5 does need a little bit of motivation to get off the mark when you compare it to the Q7 petrol. Now that difference can be attributed to the fact that the Q7 employs a torque converter automatic transmission, which is quicker and smoother when it gets its roll on. The Q5 on the other hand employs the 7-speed DSG, which does induce a bit of head shake at crawling speeds, but impresses with its meaty mid-range pull. And then you have this surge of power kicking in beyond the 2000 RPM mark, which is typical of a turbocharged motor. But that turbocharging also ensures that the engine runs relaxed at cruising speeds. The gearbox is quick to react to part and full throttle inputs. Typical to a DSG, the shifts are smooth, precise and telepathic. The power and torque is fed to the Quattro all-wheel drive system that is always alert and ready to alter torque between the 4 wheels to aid grip or to counter slip. The Q5 diesel is a fun driver with its adaptive suspension and the Quattro grip, and the petrol variant only makes it better with its punchier performance and noticeably sharper turn-ins thanks to that lighter front end. When you approach switchbacks or when you go a little too hot into the corners, you realize that there is a bit of vertical movement, but it's very predictive and never unnerving. And the confident dynamics of the car further complemented by the progressive brakes. The only fly in the ointment, as always, is that artificial steering feel. But that's something that you'll get used to and get over with time. The character of the Q5 suspension and drivetrain can be altered using various driving modes. So whether you're cruising on the highway, trotting in the city, having fun around the twisties, or just getting a laid-back drive on an off-road trail, there's the eco, comfort, dynamic and off-road modes that complement your intent. Cycle between these driving modes and the Q5 can be a total hoot when you're in the mood, or it can be a pleasant commuter otherwise. Visually, there is no difference between the diesel and the petrol variants of the Q5 save for the badges. It is a handsome looker on the outside and has a pleasant cabin that is spacious for 4 adults and a kid. The kit, comprising of features like 3-zone climate control, the virtual cockpit instrumentation, a panoramic sunroof, wireless charging, smartphone interfaces, etc., and the safety features like ABS, EBT, ESC, 8 airbags, tire pressure monitoring, etc. is similar between both the variants too. And surprisingly, their prices aren't too far apart either. I think that's a very nice move by Audi, because that leaves you with only one choice to make. Should you choose the more practical diesel variant or go with the fun quotient of the petrol? Needless to say, I'm going to choose the latter.